For centuries, farmers across the globe have shared a common fear, one that arrived not quietly, but in great waves, blackening the skies. When locusts swarmed, they came like an unstoppable storm. Within minutes, every green leaf, every crop painstakingly grown through months of toil, could vanish. Farmers stood helpless as the earth, once lush with the promise of harvest, turned barren and stripped. The devastation was so absolute that the very name locust became synonymous with hunger, loss, and despair. It was not just an insect, it was a curse, a reminder of vulnerability in the face of nature's cruelty. But in recent years, something remarkable happened, something almost unthinkable. The story of locusts, long regarded only as destroyers, took an unexpected turn. And at the center of this transformation stands the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. In a bold move that stunned many, Traoré challenged centuries of fear and convention. While much of the world continued to burn, poison, and chase away these insects, he dared to look at them differently. He declared that locusts were not an enemy to be eradicated, but a potential ally, a resource that could, if managed wisely, be turned into a blessing. His statement shook policymakers and agricultural experts across continents. How could something that had symbolized destruction for so long become the foundation of progress? The answer would mark the beginning of a revolution that is reshaping Burkina Faso's economy, identity, and future. Under Traoré's leadership, Burkina Faso embarked on a groundbreaking journey. What was once seen as a curse of nature is today the cornerstone of a billion-dollar industry. The shift is nothing short of dramatic. Instead of spending scarce resources to fight locusts with toxic sprays and costly operations, the country has chosen to embrace the very insect that once drove it to despair. Factories now hum with activity, collecting millions of locusts and other protein-rich insects each year. These are no ordinary facilities. They meet strict international health, hygiene, and safety standards, ensuring that their products can compete on the global stage. Inside, the insects are carefully processed, transformed into protein powders, biscuits, energy bars, and supplements for animal feed. These are products not only for Africa, but for markets across Europe and Asia. Analysts predict that this one decision could funnel billions of dollars into the nation's economy, generate thousands of jobs, and simultaneously protect farmlands from devastation. What was once a symbol of hunger is now feeding prosperity. The turnaround, however, has not been simple. The path was fraught with challenges. Locusts are notoriously difficult to manage, and transforming them into a reliable industry required more than vision, it demanded innovation. To meet this challenge, Burkina Faso invested heavily in science and technology. Across the country, special insect farms have been set up, known as controlled environments. These facilities, run by teams of experts, monitor every stage of insect development with digital precision. Female locusts, when they lay their eggs in the soil, are closely observed. The eggs are nurtured under carefully regulated heat and moisture levels, ensuring maximum hatching success. From that moment onward, nothing is left to chance. As the insects mature, harvesting strategies come into play. Evening is chosen as the ideal time to collect, when locusts are less active and easier to capture. Armed with modern nets and machines, workers gather millions of insects in just a few hours, securing them in safe containers. From there, they are moved to specialized cold storage centers, where temperature and humidity controls preserve their quality until processing. Once in the factories, the insects are refined into high-value products, ready to meet the strict standards demanded by European and Asian consumers. It is a system of precision, efficiency, and sustainability, and every insect harvested contributes to the nation's progress. The ripple effects of this shift are visible far beyond industrial centers. In rural communities, farmers who once trembled at the sight of locust swarms now view them as an opportunity. Markets are alive with activity. Women, who in many cases have become the backbone of this emerging trade, sell baskets of roasted insects. Across villages, the aroma of fried locusts seasoned with spices fills the air, In some regions, they are paired with vegetables and herbs, creating dishes with flavors once unimaginable. What was once a pest is now a delicacy. Entrepreneurs, quick to spot opportunity, are packaging these products creatively and delivering them to restaurants and hotels. Today, visitors to Burkina Faso may find locust-based specialties featured proudly on menus, not as a symbol of desperation, but of culinary pride. The cultural transformation is as powerful as the economic one. Burkina Faso is writing a new story about food, resilience, and innovation. The shift carries deeper meaning still. For President Traoré, the Locust Project is not merely about profit. It is about rewriting the narrative of his nation and proving a broader truth. Progress, he argues, comes when people dare to think differently, to reimagine problems as opportunities. What had long been seen as weakness can be turned into strength. What once seemed like a threat can, with imagination, become a tool for empowerment. In his speeches, he emphasizes that Burkina Faso's initiative is not just about insects. It is about mindset, about demonstrating that nations long burdened by poverty and external dependence can chart their own course to prosperity. The impact is also global. Food security is one of the greatest challenges of our time. The world's population is rising rapidly, and traditional agriculture alone cannot sustain the growing demand. Protein, essential to human health, is particularly under strain. Insects, rich in protein and requiring far fewer resources to farm than livestock, are increasingly seen as a solution. Burkina Faso's experiment provides a living model of how insect-based industries can thrive, not as a novelty, but as a cornerstone of the food economy. By exporting protein powders, biscuits, and supplements, the nation is positioning itself at the forefront of a global shift. Already, European and Asian consumers, once skeptical, are beginning to accept these products, drawn by their nutritional value and sustainability. Experts say that if replicated on a larger scale, this model could play a vital role in feeding billions while reducing pressure on the planet's ecosystems. But the revolution is not just economic or nutritional, it is social. Thousands of jobs are being created, offering employment to young people who might otherwise have faced poverty or migration. Farmers are discovering new income streams. Women, long marginalized in many rural economies, are finding new roles as traders, processors, and entrepreneurs in this industry. The sense of ownership and pride spreading across communities is palpable. Locusts, once the destroyer of livelihoods, are now the enabler of dreams. Of course, challenges remain. Scaling up production requires constant investment in technology and training. Ensuring that products meet international standards is a continuous battle. Cultural acceptance, while growing, is still not universal, and the unpredictability of insect swarms poses risks that no amount of planning can completely eliminate. Yet Burkina Faso is proving that with resilience, creativity, and determination, even the most formidable obstacles can be overcome. The story unfolding in this small West African nation is one of hope and transformation. It is a reminder that sometimes solutions to the world's most pressing problems lie hidden in plain sight. For generations, locusts symbolized hunger. Today, they symbolize opportunity. Where once the skies darkened with dread, they now shimmer with the promise of prosperity. Ibrahim Traoré's bold gamble has set his country on a path few could have imagined, a path where the very insects once cursed as enemies are driving progress. The world is watching, and perhaps learning. From fear to food, from devastation to development, Burkina Faso has shown that even the darkest clouds can carry the seeds of light.